Radical Dude here, and today we're going to be talking about pi. What is it? Where did it come from? Now I know a lot of you guys are like, hey, pi is easy, 3.14, 3.14. Yeah, but what does that even mean? And that's even a truncated version of the real number. So let's take a look. First of all, it's a Greek letter, and it looks like this. Nice and simple. Kind of cool. Alright? And it really meant perimeter. It stood for perimeter at one time, but we changed that. Perimeter is distance around a polygon. But what we're going to deal with today are circles. So all pi is the ratio of two numbers. The distance around a circle will be one of the numbers. And the distance across the circle is another of the numbers. And when you compare the two, by division, you're going to get this number pi. So, the distance around the circle, we can't use it perimeter anymore because we're already using the letter P. So what we're going to call it is a Latin word called circumference. So the distance around the circle is the circumference. Now, the distance that's going through the circle, it goes from one part of the circle through the center to the other part. And that is called a diameter. So you have to find the center and go through the center. This distance is the diameter. So all we're doing is taking circumference and dividing by diameter. And this number that you get will be a run-on number. It's 3.14 is how we abbreviate. Then it goes 1592, and it continues and continues. How do you get this number? This is what you have to do. Take any circle. It could be a quarter, it could be a button, it could be a garbage can, it could be anything that's a circle. And then take string and put it around the circle. Try to make it as nice fitting as you can. Then you take the string, because it's going around the circle, that's the circumference. You take the string, stretch it out, and measure it with a ruler. And you will get a number. And you take that number and you put it in for the circumference. Then you take a ruler and you measure the diameter of that circle. And you write it here. And then you divide the two numbers. Depending on how accurate you measure, you should get something roughly close to this. Okay? And you divide, use a calculator, you should get a 3.141 if you're really good. At least you have to get a 3 point something. If you're getting a 4 or 5, you're way off, and that can cause a lot of problems. Now, there are a few purists that say, well, measuring the circumference with a string is not really accurate. So there was this guy in ancient times named Archimedes, and he wanted to use just straight lines to measure the distance around a circle. Now that's kind of complicated, but this is what he did. I'll just show you. He did something like this. He took the circle, right? And inside the circle, he drew a triangle. But this triangle, and he measured the distance around a triangle, is much less than this distance around the circle. So he would take half this measure, mark it on the arc, and then draw another one. Now look at his, this is a hexagon. Now he would add up the sides of the hexagon. He's getting closer to the circumference of the circle. And then he would do it again. And he would just measure this. He's doing it again. He's trying to get as close to the circle as he can by using polygons. And he would do this 90, the most I think he did was 96 sides. He called this the method of exhaustion, and I think I understand why. And then he would do this until he got as close to the circle as he can. And that wasn't even good enough. He even did the outside. He would draw from the outside and then come in. So he's doing one from the inside going out to the circle, one from the outside getting closer and closer to the circumference of the circle. No wonder it was called method of exhaustion. The other thing I want to show you is you can manipulate the variables once you have this understanding of pi. Since pi is circumference over diameter, if I cross multiply, I have circumference is pi d. See? I just made another formula. And the diameter, if you look at the diameter, it's two of these. One radius and another radius. Together they make radii. These two radii are one diameter, right? So I can go back to my formula, and where I see the diameter, I could put two radii. And then we try to organize it. Pi 2r doesn't sound so good. First we try to put the regular integer in front. So that would make it 2. And 2 pi r seems smoother. And therefore you have another formula for circumference is 2 pi r. So all you have to do to find the circumference of a circle is find the radius, multiply by 2 pi. Or you could find the diameter and multiply by pi. And there you're going to get the circumference without even using a string. That's how you can manipulate some of this. But it's based on what pi is. Anyway, this has been Radical Dude, and I hope I was able to teach you something. Thank you.